America's last Christmas as a United States. I mean, the conflict has come to the boiling point, and who knows, next Christmas we could be seeing a very different nation. Tim Pool is saying that the conservatives want revolution for one reason and the liberals want revolution for another reason. The conservatives because they feel that the system is corrupt and irreplaceable and they need reform. And like I said, and you can't vote your way out of it if the voting system and the courts are all on the left. You know what I mean? We find ourselves at a crossroads as a nation. Will the nation continue to operate as one, or will the nation just collapse, fall apart, split? We don't know what that's going to look like, but from other nations that have fallen apart, like Venezuela, we can guess. Guess the liberals are going to have to start giving up their veganism, well, at least some of it, because they'll end up with eating zoo animals for dinner. For a while, anyhow. So, we don't know if famine is going to hit. And, I mean, I don't think anyone has any confidence in the government. Yeah, I said the conservatives have no confidence in the system now. And the left wants more money from the government for staying at home. And the government is pretty much going broke and belly up. And since China already has all of our debt, I think it's probably only just a matter of time before the Chinese army comes to collect. Basically, your mortgage is due and you can't pay it, so now you are part of China. So it was a bad idea to borrow from China in the first place. But we can keep going back and think of all the mistakes, all the faults, all the wrong things that were done in America to bring us to this point. Basically, the politicians just wanted to get by to the next election, to get by in their lifetime, and they did not care what kind of mess and what havoc they left in their wake for the future generations. After all, that wasn't their problem. So, we're just in not a good place. I mean, will secession help anything? Maybe. It might help a little bit for certain sections for a little while. But, I mean, I think we're going to see this nation splinter and just fall apart. And next Christmas, I don't know what that's going to look like. It's going to be very different. And right now, the Republicans' fate hangs in the balance. Because, like I said, I would think all the Trump supporters would desert the Republican Party immediately, if not sooner, because they've seen what's happened. The Republican Party has basically fed Trump to the fishes. They've stabbed him in the back, and they have not listened to any of our complaints about the problem with the system. And the courts just ignore us. So the courts are bought and paid for. I mean, like I said, someone in the comments said, we're under mob rule, basically. The judges, the Supreme Court's scared of the rioters and looters. So yeah, we're under mob rule. We find ourselves in a very delicate and unpleasant position. Like you said, it feels like where we are. It feels like we are like, the coyote who runs off the cliff chasing the roadrunner. He's running in the air. All of a sudden he stops. He looks down. He's running in the air and he just drops like a rock. So we are at the point where we are running in the air. America is running in air. And anytime now, we're going to look down and see that we are running on nothing. Any minute now, we're going to look down, see we're running on nothing, and whew. And we don't know where that's going to lead. We don't know how far civilization is going to break down. Port pulls out. I mean, Cuba's still waiting to pull out. And Venezuela. And might be a long, long time. Longer than we live. So, The whole point is the political elite have sold us out, the so-called Republicans. I mean, they are supposed to be representing us, but they realize that they're going to personally get farther if they cooperate with the machine. At least they think they'll personally get farther. Maybe that's the same way the people the aristocrats and all them in France thought so many years ago. So we're going to see what happens. Bottom line is, conservatives are not organized. They need to be organized with a central plan in mind, with an objective. I mean, the leftists, I guess the higher up ones who took over the media, the entertainment, the healthcare, the government, everything, education, they had a plan and they executed it perfectly. And like I said, the rioters and looters, they don't seem to have much of a plan except for cause trouble. But even that, like he said, may be controlled by higher-ups. So, first thing conservatives need is organization. What's the objective? And the terrible thing is, I think the conservatives are finding out they do not believe in anything. They have no convictions. They just blow with the wind. This morning, when I woke up, I had thought of a good analogy. A good analogy for America. Okay, America is a ship with a rich cargo sailing in the sea. The Democrats get a hold of the rudder, they turn on the motor, and they steer the ship full speed for the rocks because they want to wreck the ship, salvage the cargo, and, sell it to the highest bidder and become wealthy beyond their dreams, their wildest dreams. That's the left. Now, when the conservatives get in power, all they do is turn off the motor and just slap the left's hands and say, don't go so fast. Let's just drift out here in the sea, drift out to sea, drift out to sea aimlessly. And that's about the conservatives' approach. Turn off the motor and just drift out to sea. The left, when they get into power, whoop, on goes the motor, and heading for the shore. We're going to get those rocks, we're going to pile this ship up, we're going to salvage the cargo, and we're going to be rich. So, we're just in a bad position. And the way I see it, all of us have different ideas and beliefs. I guess a lot of people just want to be normal like they were, but I'm afraid that they can't go back to that because the left has already taken us far back past normal into madness. They've taken us far past, but I said I just don't think the conservatives and Christians have enough conviction to enforce their beliefs. They don't have enough beliefs or convictions, and that is what the problem. And that's why the left is winning, because they have convictions and they have bad convictions and they're willing to enforce them. So until the conservatives are willing to focus and fight for something, the left will continue to beat them. Now, Tim Pool is saying there's going to be a march on January 6th, so we'll see what goes there. But I said, you think there's going to be rest and peace with Biden in the White House? I don't think so. There's going to be all kinds of autonomous zones and, what do they call it, sanctuary towns, and who knows where it's going to go. Like I said, basically everybody needs leaders, which we'll talk about in the next video. So, I said I'm also, because right now, I still feel this Christmas is fairly normal for me. I don't go that many places. I mean, a few less church services and concerts, and that is nice. It's fun to stay and just relax. Stay home and just relax. I mean, so I'm just wondering what next year's going to bring. It seems like things are moving pretty fast these days, and they're going to continue to move fast. Like I said, this country is at the breaking point in so many ways. So, well, we gotta pray and plan and have ideas and see where everything goes. Time will tell, but it's not looking good. I mean, so we're still I mean, it's hanging on by a thread. Our civilization's hanging in the Constitution. They're hanging on by threads. They're hanging on by fibers. Let me put it this way. They're hanging on by fibers. And the fibers are still just... The fibers are making their last gasp this year. And I don't know what Christmas is going to look like next year. So personally for me, I think this is a good Christmas. And I'm enjoying it. I'm very thankful. I have my family with me, and I have my friends, and I still have a warm home, I still have electricity, so there's a lot to be thankful for. I can't say the same for next Christmas, but I said we just need to keep working hard, and I personally think that my beliefs are a little bit more grassroots than most of the conservatives would get on board with. I would get on board with the general, American principles, but I think I would go for a harder Christian line and things. So we'll see. We'll see who emerges, what conservative group emerges to be the strongest and the best leaders for the conservative movement. But the fact that Trump wasn't supported is a bad sign. Well, we are going to have a truce, I guess, for Christmas and be thankful. Even during World War I, they're fighting in the trenches, and on Christmas, both sides stopped fighting and sang some Christmas carols. So we have this little bit of time where there's some peace on earth, goodwill toward men. So we're thankful for that. God is good. All right. Have a Merry Christmas. Cherish this Christmas. We don't know where we're going to be next year, but we know one thing. God is going to be with us, and we can trust God. He's in control. All right. Merry Christmas.